What if your favorite sleeping position is silently raising your risk of heart problems? There's a belief many of us carry, quietly and without question. Sleep however you feel comfortable. After all, comfort is sacred, especially as the years gather behind us. But what if, after 60, comfort and circulation stopped being allies? What if the very position you find most restful is also silently burdening your heart, your legs, and your ability to wake up feeling clear and alive? It's not something we were taught to think about. We made our beds, turned to our usual side, and let sleep come, as we always have. Yet aging, as Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara often said, invites us to revisit the smallest routines. To ask, is this still good for me, even if it's been mine for decades? Dr. Hinohara, who lived past 100 and continued seeing patients into his late 90s, believed that longevity wasn't a matter of miracle diets or secret pills. It was a daily curiosity, a gentle willingness to challenge habits. And among the most overlooked of these habits is how we sleep. Not the number of hours, not just whether we snore or get up to use the bathroom, but the simple quiet truth: which side do you sleep on? To many, it seems trivial, but Dr. Andrew Weil, a physician who bridges ancient traditions and modern science, reminds us that posture during rest can affect far more than comfort. It touches the tone of your vagus nerve, the great communicator between brain and body. It influences digestion, inflammation, blood flow, and even the quiet rhythm of your heart. That's because while we lie still, our bodies are not still. They repair, they circulate, they clean, but only if the channels are open and the pressure isn't silent and sustained on the wrong side. You see, sleeping on your right side may seem harmless. Many even find it soothing. But it's a habit that, especially after 60, can gently compromise how your body drains waste, how your stomach holds in acid, how your heart regulates its beat, and how your legs greet the floor when you rise. It's a quiet mistake, one that accumulates, one that speaks through fatigue, swelling, and the sense that sleep no longer restores like it used to. But there's good news, real, grounded, hopeful news. Because small changes, a pillow placed with intention, a slight shift in direction, can mean waking with lighter legs, a calmer stomach, a more alert mind. Not by adding more to your routine, but by adjusting the way you already sleep. And that's what we'll uncover together. The evidence, the personal stories, the gentle corrections that don't demand effort, just awareness. Because even at night, even in silence, your body is listening. And how you lie down can either be a weight or a way to heal. The body doesn't rest at night. It works. Quietly, rhythmically, like the old washing machine in the back porch of your childhood home, always humming while everyone else was asleep. But the body can only do its nighttime cleaning if nothing is blocking its pathways. And there's one system that depends entirely on those pathways staying open: the lymphatic system. It has no heart to pump it, no engine of its own. It moves through you by gravity, by breath, by the smallest movements. And at night, when you're still, it relies on one thing more than anything else: the way you lie. The main road for this drainage, the thoracic duct, sits mostly on the left side of your body. It's where your system sends out what the day no longer needs. But when you sleep on your right, you put pressure on that system. You compress it. You make it harder for the fluid to move, for the waste to leave. And though you may not feel it immediately, the signs begin to whisper. A face puffier than usual, fingers that don't quite bend in the morning, a heaviness in the legs that wasn't there yesterday, a fog in the mind that coffee can't clear. These aren't signs of laziness or simply getting old. They're signs of a body that's trying to clean itself, but can't. A body that is asking for relief without words. And you don't need expensive tools to help it. Just awareness, just a few nights a week, resting on your left side instead. Just elevating your legs slightly, like people used to do when they came in from working the land. These aren't drastic changes. They're reminders of how we're built and how healing can begin with listening. Because the truth is, your body repairs itself at night, but only if it's not pressing on the very pipes meant to carry the waste away. Like a drain clogged by something as simple as a stone. The flow slows, the morning aches, and we call it age, when it's just posture, just habit, just gravity misaligned. There's a quiet discomfort many people carry into the night, a subtle burn rising from the chest, a strange taste in the throat, a sense that rest has become a battlefield between the body and the food it once digested with ease. As we age, the digestive system no longer responds the same way. The valve that separates the stomach from the esophagus weakens. The acid that once stayed in its place now travels upward, slowly, silently, especially when the body is lying flat, and even more when it's lying on the right side. Gravity becomes an accomplice. On the right, it allows the contents of the stomach to drift toward the esophagus, not violently, not in a dramatic eruption, but gently, persistently, and over time, this quiet leak becomes inflammation. It disturbs your sleep. It irritates your throat. It may even reach your lungs without a single cough to warn you. Doctors call it silent reflux, but for those who live with it, it's anything but silent. It's the tiredness that lingers, the voice that feels strained, the breath that shortens without cause. The danger grows not with age alone, but with the combination of aging tissue and habitual posture. A late dinner, followed by lying on the right, opens the door to what the stomach was meant to hold. It doesn't take a heavy meal. Sometimes even soup and bread are enough, if time and position don't allow the body to process them with dignity. The old ways knew better, even without the studies. In many traditional cultures, elders would eat early, walk slowly afterward, and sleep with the head slightly raised, not because they read about it, but because their bodies taught them, and their wisdom endured. Today we can borrow from both, the knowledge of experience and the clarity of science. Resting on your left side allows gravity to help, not harm. It keeps the acid where it belongs. It calms the night. And when combined with giving the stomach enough time to finish its work, healing begins not with medicine, but with a quiet shift in timing and angle. Because lying down after dinner is like leaving the door open during a rainstorm. It may not flood the house all at once, but slowly, quietly it seeps in and damages what you don't see. At night, when everything is still, the heart keeps watch. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't pause. It moves with a rhythm that has accompanied you since before you took your first breath. And just like the body adjusts to pain and age, the heart adjusts to pressure, even the subtle kind, like the weight of your own body pressing on the right side as you drift into sleep. For most of our lives, we pay attention to our heart only when something goes wrong. But the heart is always speaking, especially in silence. It speaks through its beat, its variability, its softness or tension. And that language is shaped not only by emotions or diet, but by the position we lie in each night. Recent observations have shown that sleeping on the right side can reduce what's known as vagal tone, the calming influence of the vagus nerve that helps regulate heartbeat, digestion, and our ability to relax fully. In younger years, the body compensates. It finds balance. But after 60, when blood pressure is more fragile, when arrhythmias visit without warning, when the nervous system becomes more reactive, the body no longer hides these imbalances as easily. What used to be a peaceful night may now include restlessness, shallow breathing, or waking up with a racing heart, without memory of a dream or disturbance. And yet when posture changes, even slightly, the results can be quietly profound. Older adults who lean into the left side or sleep with a small pillow under the left ribs to shift their weight often describe waking with a clearer mind, fewer interruptions, and a sense of calm that doesn't require medication or meditation. The heart is wise. It adapts, but it also remembers. It remembers each time it had to work harder during the night, each time it beat faster to compensate for pressure that could have been avoided. And while you may not hear its complaints in words, your morning tells the story, in fatigue, in breath, in the way your chest rises to meet the day. The heart speaks loudest when you are quiet, and its only request may be a gentler position, one that supports its rhythm rather than disturbs it. Not a dramatic change, just a pillow, just awareness, just respect for the quiet labor of the one muscle that has never stopped, not even once. There's a moment each morning that tells the truth about your body. It's not the number on the scale or the lines on your face. It's the way your legs meet the floor. Do they carry you gently, or do they resist with stiffness and weight? Do they feel like yours or like someone else's? Slower, swollen, less certain than yesterday. Many call it aging, but sometimes it's simply gravity, working against you night after night as you lie unknowingly on your right side. The body is a system of flows, blood, lymph, breath, all of it in motion. But when you lie on one side for hours, especially the right, that motion slows. Gravity pulls fluids downward. The veins in your legs, already tired from decades of service, now struggle to send blood back to the heart. Their valves, once firm and efficient, begin to weaken. The return journey becomes slower. The legs hold more than they should. And so you wake with ankles that feel heavy, calves that don't stretch as they used to, a strange tingling or numbness that fades only after moving. It's easy to assume it's just what happens with time. But time isn't the enemy. Stagnation is. When the legs stop being drained overnight, they swell in silence, and the damage accumulates, not with pain but with quiet resistance. Yet the body still responds to care, to rhythm, to alternating positions. In the past, people understood the importance of movement, even in stillness. They propped their feet up after a long day. They shifted how they slept based on how their bodies felt, not with fear, but with listening. You don't need long walks or heavy routines to begin that process. Sometimes lifting your legs for a few minutes, or simply rotating sides during the week, is enough to remind the body that it is still supported. Because the truth is simple and sobering. If you ignore how your legs rest at night, don't be surprised when they refuse to carry you during the day. The body speaks in the morning what the night has written, and the legs, your legs, deserve to wake with ease, with lightness, with the strength to carry not just your weight but your memories, your freedom, your next step. There comes a time in life when the noise begins to fade. The responsibilities that once pulled you in every direction begin to release their grip. The children, now grown, are living their own days. The job no longer demands your presence. The calendar slowly empties. And yet, the silence that follows is not always gentle. It brings with it a different kind of weight. Not the noise of the outside world, but the quiet questions of the body. Why does rest no longer feel like rest? Why does the morning arrive with stiffness instead of ease? Why does the heart flutter without reason, or the legs feel like they've aged overnight? For many, these are not dramatic complaints. They're quiet discomforts, the ones you don't mention at the doctor's office because they seem too small, the ones you blame on age, on stress, on nothing in particular. But deep down, something doesn't feel quite right. It is in this space, the ordinary, unspoken space of aging, that the smallest details begin to matter more than ever. The food on your plate, the light that enters your bedroom, the time you choose to lie down, and yes, even the side you sleep on. It sounds almost silly at first. After all, sleep is the most natural thing in the world. We've been doing it since before memory. But sometimes, it's precisely the habits we've carried the longest that go unquestioned. We sleep the way we always have. We turn to the side that comforts us, not knowing that comfort with age takes on a different meaning. In youth, comfort is what feels good. In maturity, comfort is what sustains health, what protects the body in its most vulnerable hours. And sleep, while it appears passive, is not rest in the way we think. The body does not go still. It shifts into its most essential repair work. The brain clears waste. The heart recalibrates. The stomach empties. The lymphatic system, delicate and often overlooked, begins to cleanse what the day has left behind. But this healing can only happen if nothing stands in its way, if the channels are open, if the pressure is relieved, if gravity works with us, not against us. Many people don't realize how much gravity matters when we lie down. We think of it during the day, when we lift, when we stoop, when we rise from a chair. But at night, gravity continues its quiet pull. And when we lie on our right side for hours at a time, the direction of that pull can begin to interfere with the body's most basic functions. Fluids gather, the stomach shifts, the valves of the veins and heart are placed under subtle strain. The lymph, that clear river carrying away toxins, slows in its course. This isn't about scaring anyone. The body is resilient. It does its best with what it's given. But as the decades pass, what it's given becomes more important. And sometimes, what it's denied, space to drain, room to breathe, posture that supports rather than burdens, makes all the difference between waking refreshed or waking fatigued. There's a humility in recognizing this, in seeing that health isn't only built during the active hours. It's shaped in the dark, in stillness, when you're not even aware it's happening. That's why sleep isn't just rest. It's a biological ritual. And like all rituals, it deserves intention. Dr. Jigeaki Hinohara lived his life with this kind of attention. Into his 90s, he continued to care for others, but also to observe himself, not with fear, but with curiosity. He asked, "What am I doing every day without thinking? What habits have I repeated for so long that I've stopped questioning whether they serve me?" That's not a call to obsess over every movement. It's an invitation to notice, to become an ally to your own body. Dr. Andrew Weil has said that rest is medicine. But medicine only heals when it reaches the place that hurts. And in many cases, the hurt is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's in the slow, dull fatigue, the swollen legs, the unsettled stomach, the strange wakefulness at 3 a.m. without knowing why. These aren't random symptoms. They are messages. And often, they are messages delivered by a body lying in a position that worked once, but no longer does. There is no need to fear this. No need to overhaul your life. No need for perfection. There is only the need for attention. The quiet, honest kind. The kind that leads you to notice how your chest rises and falls when you're on your left side. How your breath deepens. How your morning feels lighter. Not because of magic, but because blood flowed better. Because nerves calmed. Because your organs were no longer compressed. Because gravity, for once, was your friend. There is wisdom in this kind of change. Not the loud kind that gets headlines, but the kind that carries you through your later years with dignity, with clarity, with the knowledge that you're not powerless, that even when the world feels complicated, your body still responds to care. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to chase youth. What you need, and what many people need, is the reminder that it's not too late to feel better. That one small change, done consistently and with awareness, can return to you something you thought was gone. Energy, rest, lightness in the legs, calm in the heart. And what could be more comforting than that? Perhaps it's not about comfort as we once defined it. Perhaps comfort now is the freedom to wake up without heaviness, the joy of stepping out of bed without hesitation, the soft knowing that your body, after all it's carried, is finally receiving something back, not from a pill, not from a product, but from the way you lie in the quiet, the way you fold into yourself, the way you begin and end each day, with attention, with kindness, and with the gentle turn toward healing.